A lot of the homeless people here in New York City are addicts and they're mentally ill. And thanks to progressive policies, they're just kind of running amok all over New York City. The specialized support that they need, they're not getting thanks to the progressive leaders here. This man really diarrheaed on himself. The homeless people here, they just use the bathroom anywhere, anytime. The subway smells like urine. They need specialized support that they're not getting. Like the mayor and the governor of New York, just terrible. Ugh. And regardless of how much damage progressive lawmakers are doing to New York City, New Yorkers still continue to stand by progressivism. They haven't learned their lesson. They refuse to learn their lesson. I'm currently sitting at Amtrak because I'm heading back to Western New York for Thanksgiving and I'm a little bit early. It's not really crowded here. It's a mess what New York City has turned into. Homelessness is out of control. The high taxes is out of control. Mentally ill people keep randomly pushing people on the train tracks and then running away. They randomly slash people and take off running. Criminals are doing whatever they want to do thanks to bail reform that Cuomo helped. Cuomo was one of the architects of bail reform. So criminals don't have to post bail when they commit a crime unless they commit a violent crime. Other than that, they don't have to post bail. And the mayor of New York City, his name is de Blasio, he's just like, well, we've got fewer people in jail than we've ever had, as if that's an accomplishment. The criminals recognize that the penalty for committing crimes is minimal, so they're just having a field day and doing whatever they want to do. Shooting deaths are skyrocketing, and also this sentiment to defund the police has a lot to do with why crime is skyrocketing. I don't defund law enforcement.
This is a warning call for Amtrak Northeast Regional Train 86 en route to Boston with intermediate stops at Stamford, New Haven, New London, Kingston, Providence, Route 128, and Boston Back Bay. Passengers should proceed to track 9 West.
I don't defend law enforcement per se. I stand by law and order. Order is the key word. But New Yorkers are gluttons for pain. I like to joke around with myself that New York City is in a BDSM relationship with progressivism. It's like they get, no, maybe not BDSM, because BDSM is partially painful, partially pleasurable. I would say New Yorkers are in a toxic, abusive relationship with progressivism. You think I'm tripping, but you might think I'm tripping, but progressives and conservatives are fleeing New York State, and most of them are heading to Florida, so.
Cancel. We apologize.
At least he cleaned himself. My hair looks an absolute mess. Usually I look picture perfect. Not because I'm trying to outdo anybody else, I just live by a certain standard, and you can probably tell, you might be able to tell by watching my videos. I live a certain way. Yeah, so what I was saying is that New Yorkers, I think, are in a toxic, abusive relationship with progressivism. And so then they go and elect one to be the president, and it's like, the Democrat progressives are the ones that still have their states and their cities locked down. And we know fully well that the virus is real. Nobody is questioning if the virus is real. We're questioning the extent of the lockdown. The extent of the lockdown is a problem. You can't deny people the ability to earn a living. Well, I'm just going to say it one more time. Nobody is questioning if the virus is real. We know the virus is real. The problem is the extent of the lockdown. You can't deny people the ability to earn a living. Eviction notices have started popping up in my building. And I feel so, all the people that keep saying we need to lock down the country are people who still work full time and still have benefits. What about people who are not working? Some people haven't gotten a paycheck since March. There are people that are not working. There are people that don't have groceries. There are people that are about to get evicted. There are people that have to take care of their families. And then Cuomo and de Blasio, like I said, the mayor of New York, and Cuomo's the governor of New York State. He's going viral on social media. They fight over like every little thing. De Blasio will say something or will make a decision, and then Cuomo will just jump in and say the opposite. Earlier this year, they were fighting over who's in control of education in New York City. And I'm not sure, I think the mayor is in control, but then the state can take control if the mayor isn't doing their job. There's a video of Cuomo flipping out on a reporter because the reporter's like, well, we don't know if schools are open or if they're closed because de Blasio said they were closed, but Cuomo said the schools are open. And the reporter's like, well, I'm confused, and the parents are confused, and then Cuomo's like, well, you're the one that's confused, and that's it. I just don't understand why people don't learn this lesson. Progressivism is destructive. It's communism and socialism under the guise of progressivism, and really I think progressivism is the Antichrist agenda. You can call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to, but whatever, this is my channel and I'm just sharing my thoughts. I like to point things out to people that I feel that they're overlooking or that they may not have thought of. What's the biggest problem in New York right now? The sky-high taxes, which is why homelessness has skyrocketed under Mayor de Blasio. Bail reform, like I said, Cuomo was one of the architects of bail reform, so now criminals don't have to post bail when they commit a crime, unless it's a violent crime. But any other crime, they don't have to post bail, so criminals just keep committing the same crimes over and over. And I was told that Cuomo cut funding. I was told Cuomo cut funding for mental health a few years ago, so there's all these homeless people running around New York City. Most of them are addicts. They need some kind of help that they are absolutely not getting. I don't feel unsafe in New York City. Like, I live right in Manhattan. I walk around all day, all night, at any hour of the day, any hour of the night. I just walk around by myself. New York is really big, so let's say there's like multiple shootouts across the 5 boroughs in one day. It still might not happen anywhere near where I live. So I don't feel like unsafe or anything, but just because I'm safe and comfortable doesn't mean that it is safe. Just like I've been working from home full time for 2 years. I'm still working full time and I still have benefits, but that doesn't mean I support the lockdown, because what about the other people that don't have an income? I feel like people who have pre-existing underlying conditions that are afraid of the virus, you should quarantine yourself. You don't quarantine people who are healthy. It's the sick people who should quarantine. The majority of people that are dying are people that have underlying conditions. And I know that there's some people that don't have underlying conditions that are perfectly healthy that have gotten sick or died. I'm fully aware. But that doesn't change the fact that the recovery rate for the virus is 99%. Somebody wrote on my Facebook page, well, say that to someone who's lost a loved one. She's like, it's no fun in these hospitals. And I'm just like, okay, and you think that being on the verge of getting evicted and not having groceries is a party? I don't want to call names, but people are really, really stupid. Like, crashing the economy is a good idea. How is crashing the economy a good idea? How is crashing New York City and New York State's economies, how can that possibly be a good idea when the Empire State represents finance and wealth? The 1% in New York City pay 50% of taxes for all of New York State, and a lot of them are leaving New York City. Because the things that make New York, which is like Broadway, the restaurants, the art galleries, the museums, most of them are closed. Some of the museums and the art galleries are open. A lot of the 2/3 of the restaurants are either closed or closing. And we're about to go into a second lockdown on December 1st. So the gyms are closing. Most of these small businesses are going to be finished. This is like a nightmare. I want to make a longer video about how I believe personally that we're segueing into the New World Order. You can call it a conspiracy theory if you want to, but we've never seen anything like this happen before. So people who always talk about the New World Order and the Great Reset, I mean, it's happening like right in front of us. And I personally believe that this is like the last days before Jesus returns. I know that there's been other moments in history, like when Hitler was like taking over Europe, when people thought it was the end of the world. I don't know if you can hear me.
Please stand by for boarding, which will begin momentarily.
I know that there's been other times in history. Where people thought it was the end of the world and it wasn't. But the only reason why I think this time is different is because of the radical attack against the truth. Everything that's true is being labeled as a lie or hate speech, and everything that's a lie is being labeled as true. So that's why I think this time is different. Anyways, seek the Lord while he may be found, call on him while he is near. That to me implies that there will be a time where he won't be near. So I'll just say it again, seek the Lord while he may be found, call on him while he is near. While I'm in Buffalo, I'll see if I can make 1 or 2 YouTube videos, because I have a few that I really want to make that I haven't gotten to yet, but that I will get to as soon as I can. I might get to them while I'm in Buffalo. Okay. So anyways, happy Thanksgiving. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave me some feedback. I like the other feedback that you guys have already left me. So feel free to leave me some more feedback. And happy Thanksgiving.